Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who We Ooed, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben, and I'm here with my co-host Cam. How you doing, Cam?
I'm getting over being sick. So if my voice
Me?
sounds different this week, that is why. So I'm happy that I'm almost towards the end of it. I'm like, okay, I can see that moment of feeling better, but I'm also still sick, and it's been like weeks now of being sick. So I'm just done being sick, Ben. You know that feeling?
Oh, I know that feeling. I had a little flu something or other myself that I'm just now starting to get over. I feel like I'm still gonna have like a stuffy nose for another like two
Mm.
weeks, but like I'm not sick anymore.
Seems like this holiday season everyone got sick.
Oh yeah, like it was a nightmare at my work because like everybody was sick. Trying to get coverage was fun. Today we're not talking about being sick. Today we're talking about the Mask of Mandragora.
We made it to season 14, Ben. How does it feel?
It feels good. Um, we're kind of we're in the thick of the Hinchcliffe era for sure. I know Sarah is almost done, and that's pretty sad. I also know this is, you know, the last of the peak, and then we'll have probably still good, but probably less overall good in the following 5 seasons, 4 seasons. We'll see. But the Mask of Mandragora is, of course, the first serial of season 14, broadcast from September 4th to the 25th of 1976 on BBC One.
Is this just was it just BBC at this point? Was BBC Two a thing by then? Let's look it up. When did BBC Two come out?
I feel like it's been
Oh,
about
BBC Two is 1964, so it's BBC Two has been along for a long ass time.
uh, one is 1936, three is 2003. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Wait. How does BBC Three out in 2003, but BBC Four is out in 2002?
But then there's also Channel Four in there as well. I think that's also a BBC affiliated thing. I
Channel
think.
Four? I don't
I
think
think
so.
Channel Four. Channel Four might also be publicly financed or something like that.
Yeah, it is a public one. Anyway, uh, The Mask of Mandragora, Cam. This
Yes.
was written by Lewis Marks, who previously did Planet of the Giants, which is not a good one. Day of the Daleks, which is one, and from last season, Planet of Evil, which was good, but definitely the worst one of the season. What do you think this is consistent with those?
Yes. It's I think this one is a little bit less interesting than his past two ones. I haven't seen Planet of Giants, but like I think there's definitely a little bit less interesting things going on in here than Day of the Daleks and in Planet of Evil. But I feel like you can kind of tell that it is written by the same guy.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the case. And it was directed by Rodney Bennett, who previously did the Ark in Space and the Sontaran Experiment. Produced by Philip Hinchcliffe, of course. And yeah, what did you think of it, Cam?
I was not impressed. I never fully watched this before watching it for this episode. I think I watched one or two times I have tried to watch this and got like halfway through part one and was like, this is not my cup of tea. And guess what? At the end of the day, this is not my cup of tea. I just found this to be one of the most boring episodes of classic Doctor Who that I've seen, and especially in this era. This very much is a low point in the Hitchcliff era. I haven't seen Face of Evil or Hand of Fair yet, but I would imagine those stories are probably better than this. So this is probably, in my opinion, the worst of the Hinchcliffe era. I just thought there was not a lot going on in this story, and I just found it to be really dull and very not engaging throughout.
Yeah.
Again, I was sick while watching this, so that could have contributed to me not really caring for this story. Maybe another week when I was feeling healthy and more, like, enthusiastic to watch Doctor Who, maybe I would enjoy this story, but I did not.
Yeah, I think I like it more than you, but it isn't great. Um, again, yeah, there's not a lot going on. I think the Helix stuff is really interesting. The medieval politics stuff is much, much less interesting. I think that like the first 5 minutes of the first episode is the best part by far.
Oh, yes. I
You
totally
know,
agree.
when they're walking around in a different room of the TARDIS in a hallway, which is crazy. Talking about like how, more into like the physical mechanics of it, and then an old console room with like stained glass roundels
So
going
are we
to
gonna get
the.
into it right now, that other console room? Do you wanna get into it
Yeah,
right
let's
now?
do it.
Of course, this is the first appearance of the what's the official name, Ben?
The official name.
It's like the secondary console?
Let me see what he calls it. The second control room.
Yeah, the second control room. What did you think of the second control room, Ben?
It looks really cool, like it looks like a cathedral, like stained wood and the stained glass roundels, while still obviously being very TARDIS like. It's a completely different vibe. And it kind of points at something like this is before the first Doctor's console room. It looks even older than that. How old is the TARDIS? Very, very interesting. What do you think of it?
I've kind of had mixed feelings about it, since I was a kid. I hated it when I was a kid because it was extremely different. I think there's a part of it that I do like about it. There is an aspect to it that I find enduring, but like it's kind of cozy, and I like that feeling about the TARDIS console room of making a cozy TARDIS room. The Eighth Doctor's TARDIS in the TV movie is very much inspired by this console, and I love that. I love the tempered glass. I think that's an element to it that I think it really elevates it.
Hmm.
One of my biggest complaints is that the no time rotor in the console.
Oh, is
I
there no?
No, no time rotor, and I think that is a big loss. I love my time rotor. Like, I can understand some ways because like, you wanna be able to see Tom's face and, like, the companions, but, like, that is a part of the TARDIS, is having that middle thing in the center of the TARDIS that goes up and
Hmm.
down. I want
Of
that, man.
course. You need it. Is this a recurring element of the TARDIS?
What is
Does
the
it come back?
secondary
Yeah.
control room? No, not at all. I think that there is a little bit in The Doctor's Wife where we see, like, an older TARDIS console, but and that, like, they save all of the sets basically, but, like, they don't refer to this at all.
Gotcha. You said you disliked it as a kid, but that's just
Yeah.
from this story?
Well, like, I've seen other stories of this also. I would just, as a Doctor Who fan, I would just go on Google and, like, look at all the consoles and watch YouTube clips.
Gotcha.
So, like, I know that this console room existed, and I knew that this was not my cup of tea. And it
Gotcha.
just even as a kid, I was like, "I want my Time Rotor," especially, like, the new series ones. Like, it's all the way up to the sailing, and that looks awesome. That's one of the best things about the new series statuses and the TV movie, but, like, it just being missing here, it's a sore spot, Ben, it's a sore spot.
Mhm.
But, like, again, it is it feels like a place where you would actually live, you know? You could live in
Mhm.
this secondary control room. You can't live in the TARDIS set that's all white.
And then, of course, we have the encounter, where they are. What are they? They are drawn in by the Mandragora helix, and they dematerialize there, and they step out, and it's CSO, and they are attacked by a ball of helix energy. What did you think of that scene?
I was like, wow, that's your CSO is like really bad, but also like just puts a smile on my face. It's wonderful.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure, but it's cool, I think. I want more like something that they can't do in a set. Some like unreality, weird spaces in the cracks of time. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, I definitely know what you mean.
So I thought that was really cool. And then we get to where is this? This is in England, right?
No, this
Italy.
is in Italy.
The
And then Sat
15th Italy in the 15th century.
and the most important thing about this whole thing is that Sarah eats an orange really weirdly.
Does she?
Do you not remember this?
I remember she eats an orange. I
She
don't
doesn't
remember.
peel the orange, she just bites right into it. It's like, who the hell eats an orange like that?
Do you think that's a Sarah Jane thing or is that an Elizabeth Sladen thing?
Like, she just never ate an orange before, so she didn't know that you have to, like, peel the orange.
Let's see. What to talk about first? How
I
about
don't
the
know, like, I like, what is there to talk about, Ben? It's very much like, what stood out to you in this story? Like, nothing stands out to me in this story, Ben. So what stands out to you in this story?
I
Because like
I thought
the villain is just so forgettable. Like, he has no presence in the story, basically.
yeah. Hieronymus is kind of boring. He's just like, the trope of like the king's advisor who's out to get him. Except this time he's a cult leader, imbued with Helix energy. It's kind of I thought the Doctor and slash Tom Baker was really good in this episode. A lot of great moments where he came off, I thought, as like cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's having fun like always.
oh yeah. Like I love in that first episode when Sarah's being kidnapped and he just says stop, and he's standing there, hands in his pockets, nonchalant but like deadly serious. He's in the face of being executed. He's like, still looking noble. Yeah, he was. I thought he did a great job in this one.
We did not get enough of Sarah and Tom though this episode.
I know.
They are especially knowing that this is the second to last episode with them. It's like they are away from each other way too much in the story.
Just keeps getting kidnapped.
Yeah, which is like one of the worst tropes about classic Doctor Who is just the characters getting kidnapped and then being freed and then being kidnapped again.
Yep. It is. All right. Well,
Well, let's talk about the next most exciting thing about this episode, Ben. They changed
I
the font. What do you think of the new
we
font, Ben?
it's not as good.
Like it isn't as good. It's a little bit too fancy.
Yeah, it's feels less sci-fi to me.
Yeah. It kind of fits the season 14 aesthetic, like especially like
Probably.
the
I
like that
From
secondary
what I
control room.
know, I can see it kind of fitting. It fits this kind of historical. I can see it from what I've seen of like Robots of Death and Towns of Wang Chang. It probably fits that. I don't know if it's gonna fit stuff later on though.
No, they get rid of it, I think, pretty quickly. I forget when
Leisure
the new
Hive.
one is. All the way to Leisure Hive? Fuck,
Yeah.
they don't get rid of it quickly. This stays around for
This is it
almost
until like
damn.
the new intro.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm seeing like Destiny of the Daleks and City of Death, and yeah, that is still this font. Damn.
It's gonna suck for the thumbnails. We'll make it work though.
Graham Williams was like, I dig that font. I'm gonna change a lot of things, but that font staying.
Yeah. How about let's talk about the Time Lord's gift that we actually have an explanation for the first time as to how Italians, aliens, and cavemen are all speaking English. It's the Time Lord's gifts that he allows his companions to share.
It makes sense that they have to address it at some point because it's a little bit ridiculous that, like, they go into all these other places that they go into other planets, they go into other
10,000
planets,
years in the future.
and then, like, they go into to other, countries, like, just think about how many different languages we have in, like, Europe. Europe is a very small continent, but there's so many fucking languages, and, we're just supposed to believe that this whole universe speaks English. In particular, they have all English accents on top of it.
I mean, to be fair, the TARDIS wiki clarifies that this is the first historical setting that's not in Great Britain, besides the gunfighters, which is America, so they also speak English.
I never listened to Marco Polo. Is Marco Polo not in China?
That's a good question. Guess I don't know why the TARDIS wiki says that. Yeah, I guess it is in China, but he was a what? Was he English?
Marco Polo was Italian, I thought. Was he?
Italian?
I might be
I don't
wrong.
know.
I don't know. I might be just
Yeah,
editing
yeah,
this
he
whole
was
thing out.
Italian.
Okay.
I don't know. So it's just wrong. Never mind. Um, what do you think of Giuliano?
No thoughts.
No
Just
thoughts.
like,
Wow.
do you
Are we
have any
really gonna?
thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on him,
No.
Ben?
I think he kind of looks like a young Elijah Wood.
I see it.
Like, but other than that, that's kind of it. He's fine.
Like like historicals have this problem in classic Doctor Who of just like it's very just forgettable. Like there's not a lot going on there. They don't like it doesn't have that like kick to it that like a story like Parrots of Mars has, you know? Of just like constantly engaging, great villain and side villain and great like side characters. Like this story has none of that. It's just I put it on and like the doctor says funny things occasionally and
He
then
do be
it's
doing
over.
that.
And 10 million people watched it in the last episode for this.
Well,
You can tell that like even the production team isn't like the biggest fan of historicals, you know? They try their hardest not to do them.
uh
Even though in some ways the BBC is very good at doing them in classic Doctor Who. Like one of the the good things about this episode is like the production quality isn't that bad. It does like they can pull off historical settings pretty well on a BBC budget because they like that's what they do. They do like they do like plays and historical pieces. So like they can do a period piece really well. It's just like it's just it's hard to incorporate a science fiction premise into a historical back then in particular with like a 4 part or 6 part pacing. It takes a rare story like, The Time War to really pull it off well, in my opinion.
yeah. Yeah, it needs that extra thing to make it a Doctor Who story.
The Mandragora helix is not that.
It's interesting.
It's interesting, but, like, it's also not because, like, the it's not like
It's an interesting concept, not a good
y
villain.
yes, it's an interesting concept that could have been used for an interesting villain, but the villain is not interesting to the point of I couldn't tell you the name of the villain. Do you remember the name of the villain without looking it up, Ben?
Hieronymus.
Did you just look it up on the Science Wiki, or do you remember?
No, I knew it because I wrote it down.
You wrote it down, okay, but, like, I did not write it down, and I'm just like, I cannot tell you because the villain was that
To be
unmemorable in the
fair,
story.
I watched this like a month ago,
Yeah, we had to delay it because I was sick. So, like
and the holidays and war games in color.
yeah, you watched this before War Games in Color. Sorry, Ben. I don't know why you watched it, like, you should like, I forget if you asked me or not, but you probably shoulda knew that, like, if we're doing War Games in Color, like, it's gonna have to wait a week to record. Anyways,
Yeah.
Ben,
Uh,
let's just cut it let's just cut let's just the poor listener, I think, deserves just to
let's just cut our losses.
let's just get to the cliffhangers.
Okay. So the first one, the doctor is about to be executed. Oh no, what's he gonna do?
That has never happened before in classic Doctor Who.
Not once. And the second one, Sarah is recaptured by the cultists. And the third is the Helix energy possesses Hieronymus.
That probably the best one out of all of them. Like, it's the one that's not like a stereotypical, "Oh, they got captured," or, "Oh, they're
Yeah,
about to die."
probably. So Cam, what would you rank? So Cam, what would you rate this episode?
Alright, I'm going to I'm opening up the thingy thing. Rankings and ratings. Mm. See, like, I don't wanna like, it's hard because, like, I would rate this story really low, but it's like, part of me is like, is it me and not Masque of Mandragora? Am I just being too hard on this? Because like, part of me wants to give it, like, a 4.
A 4?
Like, yeah, I hated this story, man.
Is this
There's nothing
worse than
redeemable for me.
Doctor Who and the Pescatons?
Like, did we rate Doctor and the Pescatons?
We did. You rated it a 4.2 and I rated it a 4.5.
Oh, yeah, you have an extras shot. Um, see, like, I think, like, this is better than Exploration Earth, which is the problem of rating Exploration for Earth a 5. So, like, I will watch, like, here right now, the lowest I have is a 6.6 for Revenge of the Cybermen. And personally, I will watch Revenge of the Cybermen any day of the week over this, because at least Revenge of the Cybermen has the Cybermen, but as well as it has some good moments with the Doctor, Harry, and Sarah.
Mhm.
I think that story is a little bit better paced than this. So I'm gonna go 5.5. Oh no, 5.7. I'll be little bit better than
Oh,
that. But like it's not good. I like could you imagine back in the day in the third Doctor run where this was a six-parter, Ben?
ooh, that would have really sucked. I'm gonna rate it a little higher than that.
Is this better
If
than Revenge of the Cybermen, Ben?
that is the question, that's a tough one because I kind of dislike what the Cybermen even stands for because it's just not a. I like the Cybermen and it's just not a good Cybermen story.
But remember, Harry Sullivan is an imbecile.
That is true. He
That
is
this
an
story has
imbecile.
no moment that's as good as that moment.
There's the dangerous. My dear Duke, you've got a lot of guests to entertain. Of course you must hold a hop.
That's not as good as
Sarah would
Harry
love it.
Sullivan is an imbecile.
He's got a better delivery than that though. But I'll give you the Harry Sullivan is an imbecile is better. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Damn. Okay, so Doctor Who magazine, as we do every week, Doctor Who magazine puts out a poll every few years. It's been like almost every 10 years now. I feel like some weeks we don't explain it, and probably some people watching this for the first time being like, "What the hell are they doing?" Doctor Who magazine does a poll every few years. It's like almost I think they're gonna try to do it every like 10 years now, where they ask the fans how would they would rate the stories. Ben, what did they rank Mask of Mandragora? What's the fan consensus for this story?
Let's see. The Mask of Mandragora. It has gone way down in recent years. The most recent poll puts it at 26. Before that, in 2014, it was at 19. And 2009, it was at 18. And in 98, it was at 15.
Just keeps on going down.
Really sharply in the last 10 years.
But it makes kind of
Um,
sense. A lot of people like us are going back to the story, having their modern expectations for television, and then watching this and say this is not meeting my standards of what television should be.
yeah. And for fun, it's between two that we've watched. It's between below Planet of Evil and above the Santaran experiment.
Bullshit. Sontaran Experiment is so much better than this. Just for it being two parts.
Hmm.
At least understands your time is worth something.
True.
Also, just the doctor and there's- think yeah, I'm not remembering wrong. Like the doctor and Harry both fall in the pit, right?
Yes.
So like that
Like
alone just
like we said, like 50% of the story is in the hole.
like
And
it
they
being the whole is just hilarious and makes it better than Mask of Mandragora.
and if you're curious, in 2014, Doctor Who magazine did a full ranking for every episode of Doctor Who that was out at that time in one giant list. It puts it at 104 out of 241. Between things that we've seen, right below Hand of Fear and right above Robot. So it's like just at like the just not quite making the top 100 in like that top 40% of all Doctor Who stories.
Sounds so. Ben, is that all for the episode?
I
any
guess
any
so.
last words?
No. So thank you so much for tuning in. Next week we will be doing The Hand of Fear, Sarah Jane's last regular episode
I was about to say, it's not our last episode. She's gonna be back a lot, Ben. Get ready to see more Sarah Jane.
in the classic show.
Well, just yeah, well, we see her once. Well, we see her one in this when we do the K9 and Company,
Of
and then
course.
we're gonna see her in the Five Doctors, and then we're gonna see her a bunch in the new series, and then if we do Sarah Jane Adventures, we're still heated conversations about if we're gonna do Sarah
There's
Jane
no if
Adventures.
and.
Ben, it's
There's
it's a
no if, it's
children's
when.
TV show. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna be rough.
I mean, if we go like the first 3 seasons and it really sucks, we don't have to do the 4th.
But, like, that makes it even worse though, because you make like, at that point, like, we're both would be like, "We have to fucking" like, I understand maybe doing, "Alright, we're gonna do the first season or the first episode or the episodes with the Doctor." Doing something like that would be like, "We've only did 3 seasons, like, we only have, like, 2 more left, like, we gotta keep on going."
Exactly. It's all part of my plan. We'll see. We will see. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, etc. If TikTok still
I
exists,
don't think it
which
will
I
at this point. I think they're gonna
yeah,
like, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank supposedly wants to buy it, but we'll see.
we'll see. Our 100 followers, Cam. It's a shame.
We're gonna blow up on TikTok the
Um,
day before it goes down.
that would that would really
Just
suck.
like we get like 1,000,000 followers and then just delete it forever.
Wow. Check out our YouTube Shorts then and Instagram Reels
And whatever
if you want.
the TikTok replacement is, like Talk Tick.
The Musically will come back. We'll see. Have a wonderful rest of your
Peace
day.
out, everyone.